Amazing, man. I'm like a kid in a toy shop. From when I saw it, and I saw it in England, and I played a little bit with it, I was like, man, what is this? This is some new crazy alien sounds, just amazing. Then obviously now playing it here, I've explored it a bit more, gone into the sounds a bit more, had a little play with it in a hotel yesterday. Now amazing, absolutely amazing. As I said before, it's I'm already thinking film music. I'm thinking just inventiveness, the creativeness that can come out of this instrument is unbelievable.
It's the closest electronic percussion that I've come across that feels like I'm playing an actual acoustic percussion instrument, and I never thought that day would come, to be honest. It feels like such a natural thing to play with. Most other electronic percussion instruments, they're kind of interesting up to a point, but you can't get to that same degree of expression that I can personally get to on this. It feels, whether it's like the Rick technique where you kind of hold the drum like this, or Darabuka where you're playing like this, or some lap style frame drums, or hold it in the same way bongos between your legs. There's so much scope for approaching it in the same way that I'd approach an acoustic percussion instrument. I think it's just it's a brilliant additional instrument to my arsenal.
Fantastic, brilliant. But yeah, ATV, bring it all the way. I want to carry it with me. I want to get to know this thing. I want to get to know the drum. I really want to get to know it and get inside it, and I want it to be part of, if I do any sessions, I want it to be part of when I take all my stuff, I want this to come with me as part as, just a part of my whole setup, because as I said, the inventiveness in this, the sounds, I know if I bring it out and play it on certain things, people might ask something rhythmically or atmospherically. It's so many options you can bring to the table when you go to a session with this. Yeah, the one I've got here is an overdriven, it's called, and just fingers. There's like a low end hum, but you can still hear a drum on the top. That's just with fingers, and then just tap and run your finger over the top. You can use your fingertips, create a little groove, and then use your nail to slightly change. And then you can. It's just endless.
The first thing is, I've learnt many different kind of styles of percussion. So I've studied, for those of you that don't know, I've studied a lot of Indian percussion, a lot of Arabic percussion, many different sorts of percussion. Obviously, they have lots of different finger techniques and ways of holding the drum. So there's many different ways for me, to play this drum. Obviously, the Indian technique with the split hand technique, where you have two striking units. This kind of I can get to that. I can get to the kind of the Rick, the kind of Rick technique where you're playing where you play both hands around the front of the drum. I mean, we've got to find the right sound for each.
Yeah.
And that's one of the interesting things about the drum is that you kind of find the technique and the way, you know, I think there's something for everyone in it, whether you're kind of playing it, you know, acoustically with your hands or with a brush, you know, around the front or different. There's so many different ways you can play it. And for me, you know, it kind of ticks a lot of boxes in terms of a lot of the different techniques that I've kind of got together.
It's a pocket full of dynamite. It's small, but explosive. Extremely explosive when it comes to sounds, and obviously you can plug it in and it'll elevate massively. And I think that's one of the great things. You see, I'm hitting my knee. It's great sounds. Once you get into it, yeah, it's your new friend.
You know, the ability to go in and edit everything and change the different layers of sounds, and you know, so not only have you got the different techniques, the scratching and you know, the different kind of things you can do with the instrument, but you can go in and change the parameters, you can decay, you know, a lot of the effects are really cool and interesting, the dampening techniques and the you know, ping pong delays and all these sort of things. I mean, I can't wait to probably get home and spend some time with it, because it's just like such a brilliant thing.
It's just completely raised the game, because it's a major step forward, and I think people, don't get me wrong, people look at percussionists as, you know, unique or whatever, how they look at percussionists as really unique, or we bring something, but now this is almost going to help us step up. Solo. Okay.
Doesn't sound like anything else, you know. It's got its own unique character, and I think that, you know, once, you know, X amount of players start to get to know it and spend time with it, you know, once I've spent time with it, you know, I can really kind of create my own voice with this instrument, which I think is an exciting new direction as well. And what do you think, Pedro? You spent so much time with it. I mean, what are your favourite sounds? What are the things that you...
One of my favourite sounds is the Dwarf of Giants, as you can take some different sounds from different places of the frame. But I think the challenge of this new instrument, it's one of the things that you told before, that you're forced to apply different techniques
Yes.
and for each sound. It's not
Very,
not
very true.
one instrument, not one technique for all the instruments. The sounds are pushing you to
Discover.
discover
Yeah.
Brilliant.
the right technique.
Yes.
So there's no technique
There's no
at
set
all.
No.
There's no technique at all. It's all about feeling and
Yeah.
all about the sound.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, even
what amazed
even the
me.
positions. You know, we've all got it in different
Yes,
positions.
in different
completely.
positions.
It's just brilliant. It's just fantastic. It's so
Absolutely.
versatile and
It-
things. And obviously, once you get into the the editing, all the different intense like editing that's available with all the parameters, and I mean, there's so much. So many possibilities with it. I can't wait to get home and spend a few months trying to get it down and come up with. It's just a whole new voice, isn't it, Karl? It's a whole new voice in the repertoire for us.
It's just as Pete said, it's and plus you can play it many different ways, and the fact that it's light, and obviously it's durable. You can hit the side, you can hit the center, you can push the skin in, you can. It's just, I'm sort of euphoria because I'm so happy.
Yeah,
It's
me too.
and the fact that you can kind of play a drum sound and then slightly change your technique, still play the drum sound, but you can add some harmonies in there. As I said, there's no other percussion instrument like that. Sound, and oh my lord, what's this? And I think as it goes on and it goes on and it goes on, I think that an aFrame will become like, oh, that sounds, as you know, when you listen to albums, oh, that sounds like an organ. Oh, I know what that snare is. Oh, I know what strings the bass player's playing. Oh, I know what the bass is. And I think it's going to get to that point when you hear the aFrame, you're going to go, oh, that's an aFrame, because some of the sounds and the way you play it are so unique to this instrument.
It's going to become a cult instrument. I think it's a completely new thing, and I think get one quick because otherwise you're going to miss out.